Hello friends and welcome back. So in this session we are going to cover the JBoss CLI. So CLI is called the command line interface. Okay. So this is to manage your JBoss instances with the help of commands. Okay. So we have a admin console in JBoss which we can access from the browser, right? And then we can do multiple things from the browser with the help of just clicks, right? So if you do not have access to the admin console, or you may want to do certain kind of automations with the help of scripts for the JBoss operations, like you want to automate the starting stopping of JBoss instances, creation of the resources like the creation of data source, to check the health of multiple subsystems. Okay, so for that we use a command line interface. So there is a command line CLI utility provided by the JBoss, okay, which we can use to connect with the running instance. Okay, and after that we can run multiple commands with the help of JBoss CLI. So there is a specific format, or you can say the standard syntax of running all these commands. Okay, so that I am going to explain in this particular session. So but before execution, okay, I would like to explain you the some generic ways or generic understandings, okay, before we frame the different commands. Okay, so we have a two different mode of JBoss, standalone and domain mode. So to run the JBoss CLI command, we have a different formats. Okay, when we run in the standalone mode and when we run in the domain mode. That is because of the architecture, or the way we configure the different servers and server groups in our standalone and in your uh, domain mode, right? So before execution, let me clarify a few things. Okay, so with the help of that you will get a some good understanding before you start executing the different commands. Okay, so it's just a recap of few of the previous concepts, okay, that will help you to understand the JBoss CLI in proper way, right? So we have learned that we have two mode of JBoss, okay, standalone. So there we have only one instance of JBoss, only a single instance. That means you can say a single JVM, only one JVM, right? Which is a standalone, which we use mostly in the non-production for development, testing, qualities, right? And second, we have the domain mode, domain domain mode, okay, where we have a centralized place for the management of entire domain, okay, which is called your domain controller. Okay, and from there we can manage the multiple host, right, which is called the host controllers. Host controller 1, host controller 2, host controller 3, and host controller 4. So in generic way, this is referred as the master, and these are referred as the slave. Slave 1, slave 2, slave 3, and slave 4, right? So when we execute the command, okay, the syntax is bit different in the standalone mode because this is just a single server, right? But when we come to the domain mode, okay, so in the domain mode we connect with the domain controller with the help of JBoss CLI command. Okay, and then now your servers are running on the different host controllers, right, where this domain controller reach, right? And then when we do the deployment of application, so each and every host controller, okay, specifically what we do, we create the server groups, and we assign the profile to the server group, right? So this profile contain all the features whatever we want to enable for our applications, right? So in standalone mode, we have the different XML files for each and every profile, right? That we have learned in detail. For example, we have a full profile, we have a full HA profile, then we have a default profile, we have a load balancer profile, right? So we have five profiles are there. So when we start the standalone instance, so we specify these XML files when we start the instance in the your standalone command. But in domain mode, we create the server group, and when we create the server group, we attach a specific profile to the server group, right? And then we create the servers inside the server groups. So that means whatever the server JBoss instances we create inside a particular server group, okay, so all the features whatever we have in this profile which is attached to your server group, this profile will be applicable for each and every server group. Why? Because all the servers are part of this particular server group, and we have assigned this particular profile to this server group. For example, if we have assigned the full profile to this particular server group which we have created, okay, then all the servers will now have this full profile, right? So all the features that we enable in the domain mode, okay, is tie up with a particular profile, or you can say server group. Okay, for example, if I am configuring the data source, okay, so data source are attached to particular server group. Okay, so that means if we are configuring a data source and if you have a multiple server groups in your system, JBoss system, it doesn't mean this data source will be available for each and every server group. Okay, you have to attach this particular data source to a server group. So this we have seen earlier as well. Okay, in the data source section, right, where we have covered how to configure the data source in standalone mode and how to configure the data source in your domain mode. Okay, so there we have seen that when we create a data source in domain mode, we need to attach it with the server group. So in a nutshell, in domain mode, your resources that we configure, okay, are attached to the server groups. So that's why when we run the CLI command lines, okay, the execution is bit different in the standalone mode and the domain mode. And why it is different? Because here the resources are scattered in the server groups and based on the different profiles. However, in standalone, we do not have this kind of a configurations. Okay, this is a single instance, only a single instance which is running there, right? So running the standalone commands are a bit different in comparison with the domain mode. So here in domain mode, when we run the commands, CLI commands, okay, so we need to specify your host, on which host you want to run the CLI, either in the domain controller or in the host controller. You need to specify that particular host. Okay, and once you specify the host at multiple places, you need to specify the server group. Okay, for example, when I am configuring a data source, I need to specify the server group. When I am checking the status of my data source, okay, if my connection is good or not in the data source, so I will have to specify my server group because my data source is connected or tie up to a particular server group. So I need to specify the complete path, okay, before I am checking the status. And if you are in standalone mode, then there is no concept of server group. Okay, so the execution here to check the data source status will be different, right, in comparison with the domain mode. Okay, so this is what I was explaining, that when we execute the CLI commands for standalone mode and for domain mode, the command will be different. Only difference is that in the domain mode, we have to specify the complete path to which host it belongs, host domain controller or host controller. And along with that, we have to specify the corresponding server groups. This is the only difference. Otherwise, the rest of the command that will be formed, it is almost same. Okay. And along with that, when I'm going to check the status of my server, so here I have 4 servers, right? And here in the standalone, I have only 1 server, right? So here, when I'm checking the status of my servers, I need to specify the name of my server, right? To which server I want to check the status, server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. But when I'm checking for standalone, it will be command will be different because there is only a default one standalone server, right? So these are the bit and pieces that you need to take care when you are going to understand how the CLI work in JBoss, and when you are doing the thorough study of the CLI commands. Okay, so you have to make sure in mind whether you are in the standalone mode or in the domain mode. If you are in a domain mode, then you have to understand how we specify or create the different commands, okay, for the execution. Okay, so now I have a document. Okay, so here I have given some important commands, okay, that you can run, okay, for the standalone mode. Along with that, the command for the domain mode. Okay, so as I said, in the standalone mode, we have that some different ways to execute the command. But when we come to the domain mode, okay, so we have to specify the corresponding host or corresponding server groups, or maybe the corresponding server name as well, right? So now before that, the very first thing, how we connect to the JBoss CLI. Okay, so to connect to JBoss CLI, we have a script that is provided by the JBoss with the name of jboss-cli.sh for the Linux and .bat for the Windows. You need to run this command, and after that you need to provide hyphen connect. Okay, so when you run this command, okay, so it will connect to your CLI command mode of the JBoss. Okay, so now if suppose that you have changed the default host name in your configuration file, for example, in standalone mode, we have a standalone.xml file. Okay, so there by default it listen on the local host, or you can say on the on 127.0.0.1 host. Okay, so if you haven't changed this one, if it is local host in your configuration file, which is come by default when you install the JBoss, so it will connect to the prompt. But if you have changed this particular local host IP address with the actual IP of your machine, Okay, then you need to specify hyphen hyphen controller. Okay, and with hyphen hyphen controller, you need to specify your IP address. Okay, so this is a very standard or generic way to connect with the JBoss CLI, and this is to connect within the default mode. That means when you have a local host IP address in your configuration file. So you don't need to specify any IP address. So this is the way how we connect to the JBoss CLI. Okay, so once you are connected to the JBoss CLI, so standalone mode, okay, you can see that here I have mentioned things that do not exist in standalone. Okay, that means in standalone we do not have any server group, we do not have any host entries, we do not have any profile, right? Because these entries are applicable, okay, for specific domain controller, right? And this profile option which I am mentioning here, it is something different than the different XML profiles we have in standalone mode, right? Because when we start our standalone server, right? So we specify the corresponding profile name. So that means that corresponding profile is already activated. So I don't need to specify any profile name in my commands, right? Because this is started with the profile which I have specified in the command line, right? So that means these things, server groups, host, profile, these syntax will not be applicable for the standalone mode. This will be applicable only for the domain mode. Correct. So after that, we have to run the command. So to run the command, here are some important commands. For example, you want to check the server status. This is the command, read attribute, name equal to server state. You want to shut down, start the command. So you can only run shutdown, restart equal to 2. So here we do not specifying any of the host name, right? Because in the domain mode, as I said, we have to specify the host where the server are exist. But because it is a standalone server here, so this is only single server. So you can directly start, stop or shut down with the help of these commands. Okay. And similarly, if you are going for a deployment, so you can only specify the deployment tag here. Okay. To list the deployment. To deploy the application, you can just run the deploy command. Similarly, to redeploy, you can specify the hyphen hyphen force. To undeploy, you can just run the undeploy command. You provide the name of the file. And this is the important. Important in the sense this will give you the differentiation between your standalone and domain properly. List data sources. Now, suppose that you have configured few data sources in your system. You can run this command. You are going to check subsystem data sources, right? And then this is the command read children name and then child type data source. So this is the action plan, okay, which we have followed in the standalone mode of data source configuration, and this we have followed already in the previous sessions in the domain controller mode. Okay, so now if I show you here the command that we run to test the data source, subsystem equal to data sources equal to the name of data source that we have created, then test connection pool in the pool. So we are testing the connection here only, we are not listing here. Okay, so now here you can see we have only specified the data source. Now if I go to the domain mode, you can see here the command from here, subsystem, it is same. What we have seen here, subsystem equal to data sources, data source, then name of data source, right? If you see here, this command is same. But prior to that, we have specified the host equal to slave, okay, and then server one. So now because data source is targeted to each and every server, right? So that means I want to test the data source connection which is running on the slave host and targeted to my server one, right? Similarly, this data source is targeted to server 2 as well. So you want to check if this data source is good or not on the server 2. Then you can run the same command, host equal to slave, and you can give the server name, which is server 2 here, right? So this is the difference I was talking about in standalone and domain mode. So here, because we have the different host controllers, so you need to specify that specific host here. Okay, this is one of the command that we have seen here. Now this is the command data source status, what I was talking about. Okay. Now, similarly, you want to check the live JVM information. So you can specify this command without giving any host information, right? Because this is standalone server. Now, if we come to the domain mode, okay, I will quickly show you here. You can see here you want to list all server groups and profiles. So you know that we have in domain mode, we have multiple server groups, we have multiple profiles that is associated with the server groups. You want to list all the server groups and profiles. This is the command for that one. You want to list the servers of a particular node. That means on a particular host, you want to list all the servers which is running. So you can run this command. Okay, if you see here, we have specified the host. If you want to list all the servers which is running on slave 1, you can give host slave 1. You want to list all the servers running on master node, you can give host equal to master, right? Similarly, you can see here, check which group a server belong. You want to check a particular server belong to which server group. So you have to specify the host. This server running on host 1, okay, and we have to specify the name of server, right? So similarly here you can see the other commands, okay. Every command I will show you with the executions as well. So everywhere we are specifying the host, and at multiple places we are specifying the server group as well, right? So this is the difference we have in the standalone and the domain mode. So many times I saw that engineers get confused when we are running the CLI commands. So it's completely different. Okay, so the difference is only due to the domain mode. If you are running your server in standalone mode, or you are running in the domain mode. If you are running in standalone mode, then the command will be a bit different. Okay, but if you are running in the domain mode, then you need to specify a few more parameters like the server groups, profile name, okay, and the host name. So hope now it is clear to you what is the difference between standalone and domain mode when we run the CLIs, how to connect to the CLI. Okay, and now I will show you with the executions, okay, so that you will get the complete clarity in your mind.